Real life. Real stories. Let's see what's trending in Indianapolis. This is Paul Poteet on The Edge.
Okay, all right.
Angels in the outfield.
Everybody who's watching, this is the guy that's responsible for all the weather right now. Yeah, you can't move. You can't leave.
I'm like one of those guys on the 60 Minutes interview who just realized he's being ambushed.
Yeah, I didn't prepare anybody for this, especially Paul. What is the deal with the freeze, man?
What have you done?
Who'd you piss off?
Do you want to know?
No. Honestly, that's been a long break. I don't want to know that.
Yeah, we don't have time for that. But more recently, I don't know what happened, except that we were due. We were out there shoveling the other morning, and when I say we, I mean Mrs. Poteet, pretty much. I had a feed or something. No, but when I joined her to finish up and to look around, and make sure there weren't any spots on shovel.
Oh wow!
My.
Our neighbor had already pretty much, used the power tools on it. The snowblower on it. But anyway,
the power tools.
You can think of a weatherman who doesn't know what a snowblower is. That's not good.
No. I think we're in an awful place there.
He had been out there, and she'd been out there, and I was joining her, and she was saying, "I just bought this, I bought this shovel like 2 years ago, and it was the first time, we had used it. We never used a shovel last year."
I
know that we used it more than once, like the season before. So,
well, Happy New Year to you, Paul.
Averages, baby. What can I say? I hate it. I hate winter weather, so I'm on record as hating it.
So does she, evidently. Brittany has expressed her frustrations before, and she was really kind of cursing you out this morning. I don't know what was going on there.
That's what that was.
Yep,
okay.
Pretty much.
That's good, though, because it kept me a little tingly for a while when I was outside to have your ears burn like that.
Yeah, hate has its place, I guess.
Weather is one of the 9 Indiana maps I'm going to show you. I feel like I should show you maps because that's what I do when there's a camera on me.
All right, bring a map. Let's see some edgy news here. Hit it.
This is, originated on Reddit, and it's like a copy of a copy, and I haven't been able to find the original yet, but it's pretty funny, and I'll explain the color coding as we go along here. These are like 9 ways you can divide Indiana. I am kind of fascinated with maps, so this made me laugh. So there's 9 maps here.
Okay.
The first one in the upper left that you see there, the area in blue is super late winter sunrises, and the area in whatever that is, yellow, lime green, super early winter sunsets. What do you want? Do you want a super late sunrise or a super early sunset?
Okay.
Now, the one in the middle there, the blue is diehard Indiana sports fans. Orange doesn't support Colts or Pacers. And then the red in that one in the middle doesn't support an NCAA Indiana team. Ouch. Louisville, UK action there. The one on the right, you may be a step ahead. That's the only one that I guessed before I read the caption. The one on the right, the blue is Democratic, red is Republican.
Wow.
I think that's probably fairly accurate. Now, as you go down the middle here, okay, this map that's on the left as we scroll down, this is kind of funny. The one on the left, the darkest green, moderately hilly, the kind of bright green color, mostly flat. The lime green color, including Indianapolis, definitely flat. And then for those of you who've enjoyed a scenic trip on I-65 to Lafayette, incredibly flat.
Painfully flat.
Painfully flat. So boring. You're almost excited to see the Rensselaer exit, even though you know you're about to go into Chicago traffic. Okay, the one in the middle.
Yep.
The dark blue. Hoosier twang. Pen equals pin.
That's funny.
Green on that one, the kind of limey green down by Louisville is full-blown Kentucky accent. Yep. Speaking of Louisville. I got to go out and wash the clothes. You remember in the 80s when President Bush was president? And then the kind of dull yellow color, including what? Fort Wayne and down towards Cincy. That is a standard Midwestern dialect. And then in the upper left-hand corner, full-blown Chicago accent. Which is true. People up in the region there have a tendency to talk funny. Now, the one, this is one I am so familiar with. The one on the right there, the kind of brown shading in the bottom, more ice than snow.
Mm-hmm.
And then you got the, I don't know what color that is, kind of a blue, a little tinge of teal or something. Usually gets a good dusting. Then you get the darker blue from Indy northward, reliably white Christmas. I'd move it up a little bit farther north, but I'm just, picky weatherman.
Who are you?
And then up by South Bend, that color is lake effect snow, but worse. Oh, I did the punchline in the wrong order. By Gary, it's lake effect snow, and then lake effect snow, but worse in South. It can be so horrendous up in South. I worked with a radio station there for several years, and it was just horrible. Every other day, it was like 7 to 25 inches of snow, depending on what county you were in. So that's how you divide Indiana up. We've got a couple more quickies.
Yeah, go for it. What in the world is this?
The brown. I like the shape of it too. Brown is tenderloin eaters. And then the red shaded is Indiana has other food too. I don't know.
Amen.
I think the tenderloin thing is maybe more widespread than that.
I'm sure that perfect circle is very accurate as well.
It's the shape of a tenderloin. It's a giant tenderloin.
Yeah, it should be a circle with like flat, with the tenderloin sticking out of either side.
It's a tenderloin mothership that's hovering over Indiana.
Like an aerial view. The one with the green, the light green or the lime green the dark area on that map is. Let me try this again. The lime green is get stuck behind a tractor, and then the darker shading is also get stuck behind the Amish.
Oh my gosh! You can't. But what? Okay, is that Lafayette? What's the dot there?
Yeah, what's the
I
dot?
don't know what the dot is. I mean, I'm from Northeast Indiana, so I
It's Greencastle.
Greencastle. I see. I didn't realize that was a hotbed. And then the one on the last one's pretty funny too. The blue shaded area, better stock up on booze by Saturday night. Gold shaded area, reasonable to drive to the border. So there are 9.
Fist bump. Oh, she's not getting.
Sorry, they're not wrong. That's an accurate one.
But don't have it, before you drive back. But you can drive to get it.
Oh my gosh, that's funny. That is too.
You could slice up Indiana. There you go. And now we leave the friendly confines of the Hoosier State to a land where someone is afraid of Tasmanian Devil. Are you familiar with Tasmanian Devil, the cartoon?
Absolutely, yeah.
He's fun, right? He just, he goes in and he goes out.
I'm sorry, what was that? He does what?
He goes, he goes out. That's the animation. This is like one of the movies Bob McLean used to do it on Channel 6 when I worked with him, when he would be in front of the weather.
It's 3 times we had the Tasmanian Devil sound.
We've got plenty of stock footage now to use to turn that into a meme. All right, thank you very much for your support.
Good luck with that screen grab. Okay.
4. This is awesome. Please don't stop. Please don't stop doing it.
He says he has a fear of the Tasmanian Devil and claims his father-in-law repeatedly scared him with a toupee that looks like the cartoon character.
Yes.
Eunice Dole, I'm approximating his name, was arrested in November for violating a restraining order that his son-in-law had filed. The 36-year-old says the older guy, his father-in-law, terrorized him at a funeral by waving the hairpiece and snarling.
There's so much wrong. Where do you begin?
Who does that at a funeral? You can't wave a hairpiece at a funeral. That's just bad manners.
That's just bad manners is what that is.
Is there a video, please? Is there a video?
Well, I hope not, because I don't like seeing pictures or which I have seen people share. What do you think? Does that look like the Tasmanian Devil?
If he's spinning it around his finger, I bet it could actually resemble that.
Right. So the guy has.
Wow. Okay, we did that.
Nice.
We went there.
Very nice. That could scare you if you have a fear of the Tasmanian Devil. Looney Tunes is what I say.
And it says his dad was arrested.
Yeah, well, he had filed a restraining order against him in September following an altercation at a restaurant. And so now I guess this happened at a funeral. An attorney for the older guy labeled the case a family dispute. You think?
It sounds like there's a lot of family issues, deep-seated issues in that family.
There's a lot going on
There's
there.
a lot happening in that family.
Needs to see We Grow Hair Indy, because that did not look convincing. But anyway, so that's Edge story number 2. That's going to be hard to top that one, I know, for number 3. But are you ready?
Ready.
Hit me.
Since we weren't together over the Christmas holiday, I've been saving this one. Ho, ho, ho. An elderly couple arrested as they were driving across the country, apparently, from California to Vermont. The guy is 80 years old. Woman is 83 years old, right? 60 pounds of marijuana that they were toting. Is a lot.
That's a lot.
That's a big stash. They were stopped for failing to use their turn signal. Oh!
You sure it wasn't a CNN remote crew there?
They said, yeah, right.
Oh, yeah, that's enough. You can just low-key pack that in your car and no one will notice.
Oh, yeah. I would totally feel comfortable driving across country with that.
Wow.
The marijuana was for Christmas presents. Nana, that's so nice of you.
Nana.
Honestly, on this one, there's so many forks in the road here. I don't know which joke lane to go down. I mean, literally.
Yeah, right. Well, it's signal before you go or you're going to get booked. Do you find their claims dubious?
Oh, Paul, I've missed you.
Wow.
I don't know about you guys, but in my family, we have a gift giving, limit that we set. And I think they may have been over that for, if they were.
Well, can you imagine if you're bringing that to a Christmas dinner, all the additional munchies that you're going to have to stock up on?
That would take more than, what is it you had in your house over the holiday? Your gummy bears?
Yeah. We had 2 pounds of gummy bears that were systematically digested by every short critter in the house.
Man, women, and child.
80 and 83 years old.
Oh, wow.
Well,
Good for them. Good for them.
Usually at that age, aren't your joints supposed to be covered by icy hot?
I'm like rope-a-dope, man. I feel like Muhammad Ali. He's just pounding me here. Dad jokes 5-1 here. We got to have a scorecard from here on out.
Yeah, so that's the story of the. That's where I hope to be in 25 years, driving across country, taking care of the family. Grandma and Grandpa do so much. So do I. So Grandpa Poteet signing off. Once again, 3 lovely stories from the Edge.
All right. So with that, let's hear about your wonderful warm forecast coming to us this January week, right? Right.
They're about to get a blizzard in Vermont, so
good. They can keep it there.
They're going to be burning what they can, but the friends of this couple won't be burning that. Yeah, they can keep it there. It's a blizzard. It's what's called a bomb kind of a storm because it's exploding in intensity as it develops rapidly. So you'll hear bombogenesis over the next few days. There's your new weather buzzword, I predict. Bombogenesis is what that's called because it forms, but it sort of bombs out real quickly. It just forms real quickly. So
I hear a drinking game coming on.
I'd like for that to be my new nickname also. Bombogenesis.
Thanks, Aaron. Thanks, Bombogenesis.
Shoot.
Just watch though the next few days on TV. You're gonna hear that a lot. And a piece of the polar vortex is breaking off and going into the northeast right behind it on Friday and Saturday. So it's going to be lingo heaven over the next few days.
Wow.
But for us, it's some snow showers have been around today. There could be some a quick little, half-inch, quarter of an inch, enough to make people even more mad at me today. It's just like and it's with another cold front. It's just like a fresh shot of cold air. It didn't go below 0 last night, but it's going right back around it tonight. And then below it again, Thursday night into Friday morning, Friday night into Saturday morning. Again, we're going to go below zero. And we got a big system coming at us from the southwest. It's going to pull up some warmer air Sunday. Unfortunately, it's the classic top-down warm-up that we get in wintertime. So there may be some hours on Sunday afternoon where it's warm enough to start out as rain just above us. But, it's been so cold that it's going to take some time for the ground to catch up. So when that happens, falls liquid, lands, and freezes on contact. That's the worst, obviously. That's freezing rain. So you may have that to deal with before it goes to all rain, perhaps Sunday evening and into Monday morning. And then it'll end back with a little bit of snow on the tail end of it as it's going back to colder air. So it's kind of mixed. It's a mixed bag.
I'm not happy with you about this.
At least it'll be warmer, for about 12 hours. It'll go about freezing. So
just enough to get everything evenly melted and then freeze.
Yeah, and then refreeze again. So, yeah, there's going to be Tuesday morning's rush hour. But next week will probably be slippery. And, yeah, if you have to go somewhere Sunday night, not so nice either, maybe. Or Sunday afternoon, too.
Is it going to, I know you can only really see a certain amount ahead, but is it going to be this freakishly cold for a long time?
No, it looked like it was that we might turn the corner here late in the last week of January. And then, no.
So your answer is you'll have a month of bitter cold.
Yeah, right. It hasn't gone above freezing since it went to 32 on Christmas Eve day. So if you want to count that, that was the last time, Christmas Eve. So that was a week ago Sunday. Yeah, a week ago Sunday.
Hey, all my kids, thank you very much for the Winter Wonderland on Christmas Eve. They enjoyed it incredibly so.
Yeah, so we did. That's right. We had technically the Weather Service only had 0.7 of an inch of snow. So if you use the 1 inch definition, then technically they didn't actually have a white Christmas. But I think most people, it looked pretty Christmassy to me outside my window that night.
The high pitched screams of my children convinced me that we had one. So thank you.
Video.
Well, the earplugs that I was wearing were helping immensely, and Mike.
What you were told were the high pitch. Yeah.
It just looked like a high pitch.
You joined the progress, like I joined the shoveling in progress. You joined all that in progress. Honey, do you have that handled? Okay, good.
All set. Thanks. Well, thank you so much, Paul, and we certainly appreciate the weather as well as all the edgy stories. You can certainly find Paul at paulpoteet.com.
Poteet.com. If you have any friends in Cincinnati this weekend, I'll be on WKRC, which is the CBS station, Local 12, they call it. So I'll be joining them for on and off throughout the month because I'm a traveling weatherman. Make a lot of stops all over the world.
All of the stalker ensemble that Paul has. So you got to go to Cincinnati.
Head south. I'm trying to get away from the cold weather, but I don't think I'm going far enough south.
I don't think so.
I think you're going the wrong direction, actually.
Yeah, right. I should be freelancing in Phoenix. All right, I'll work on that with my agent soon.
All right. Well, safe travels, my friend, and we will see you and talk to you next week.